A fact-based synopsis of the story's contents is provided below. A condensed version of the story's substance is as follows. Here is a humorous interpretation of the plot. While Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage is a very conventional sitcom in many respects, the Young Sheldon offshoot does defy a stale sitcom convention in one area. The title of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage alone ought to reveal the mystery of the program to viewers. It isn't a simple family sitcom, despite its appearance. Georgie and Mandy were in a fairly happy and healthy place after the Young Sheldon series conclusion, but Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage shows how their marriage broke down. In a casual line of speech, in the sibling realignment, episode 23 of season 11 of The Big Bang Theory, Georgie discloses that he has an ex-wife. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage has no such aspirations, despite the fact that the upcoming spin-off of The Big Bang Theory would ruin the sitcom franchise's universe. As a result, the program needs to explain why its main couple, who appeared to be headed for a happy ending in Young Sheldon's conclusion, broke up. It's somewhat revolutionary for a sitcom in and of itself that viewers are aware that Georgie and Mandy would eventually split up. But the Young Sheldon spin-off goes further than just breaking comedy conventions. Georgie is 21 and Mandy is 33. Such a gendered age difference is practically unheard of in sitcoms. Very few sitcoms have spouses who are older than their husbands, despite the fact that male partners are frequently noticeably older than their on-screen wives in the genre. Undoubtedly, no previous significant family sitcom has such a stark age disparity in this way. On the other hand, Ed O'Neill and Katie Sagal have married, with children boasted an 8-year separation. Penny and Leonard, the main pair on The Big Bang Theory, were separated by 10 years, whilst Kevin James and Leah Remini in King of Queens were separated by 5 years, and according to Jim's lead couple by 13 years. The time span between the characters on the show and their real-life counterparts was cut to 5 years. This summary demonstrates how age gap relationships, in which the male partner is older than the love interest, are surprisingly prevalent in sitcoms, but the opposite is rarely observed. More recently, the characters played by Sean William Scott and Kat Dennings, who are separated by 9 years, were hinted at in Shifting Gears. With this twist, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage is defying the comedy convention. How the gender-switched age gap romance between Georgie and Mandy adds interest to their story. The dynamic between Georgie and Mandy differs from that of many previous sitcom couples. The age difference between Georgie and Mandy adds excitement and uniqueness to their story, as practically all comedy couples have older husbands and younger wives. This is crucial because, despite some changes to Young Sheldon's model, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage is still a relatively conventional sitcom. In order to make The Big Bang Theory feel more like a conventional sitcom than Young Sheldon ever did, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage brought back the laugh track and multi-camera arrangement. Actually, a lot of the adjustments Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage made to Young Sheldon's tone and style made the show less subversive and more mainstream. In order to make The Big Bang Theory feel more like a conventional sitcom than Young Sheldon ever did, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage brought back the laugh track and multi-camera arrangement. Given the return to a more conventional, uncomplicated sitcom format, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage must have a compelling narrative. The age difference between Mandy and Georgie is their most intriguing and unusual feature because many shows have concentrated on the highs and lows of navigating marriage and new parenthood. The Big Bang Theory must be judged on its own merits because Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage has less cameos from the cast than its predecessor. This was accomplished by the show in Season 1 when the generational divide between the two was the main topic of Episode 4, Todd's Mom. After making a friend at work at last, Mandy was appalled when Georgie made friends with her son Todd. The plot of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 demonstrated that the dynamic strains the couple's titular union, even if the episode only specifically focused on the age difference between the two. Although their problems were resolved somewhat swiftly in Todd's mom, this nonetheless planted the seeds for more serious disputes down the road that would jeopardize the couple's happiness. Will the age difference between Georgie and Mandy play a role in their eventual breakup? Georgie and Mandy met at quite different points in their lives. Although viewers are aware that Georgie and Mandy will eventually split up, it is still unclear how and why this breakup occurred. The age difference between Georgie and Mandy might contribute to their ultimate split, but Georgie's bond with Mary and Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is as likely to be a decisive element. It would be unfortunate if the first gender-flipped age gap in a big sitcom led to a divorce after decades of happily married couples with noticeable age differences on screen. In the end, it might be detrimental to the show if Georgie and Mandy's age difference turned out to be an excuse for their split. It would be unfortunate if the first gender-flipped age gap in a big sitcom led to a divorce after decades of happily married couples with noticeable age differences on screen.